mushroom pie, done nice and easy because there's no pastry crust to it. And then a barbecued veal shanks done almost ossobuco style. To top it all off, grilled pears with raspberry sauce. Don't go away because I gotta get my gloves on and go light the fire.
This program is made possible by Charbroil, makers of gas grills and other outdoor cooking equipment built for America's backyard barbecues.
And by Hickory Specialties Incorporated, makers of Nature Glow Hickory flavor ceramic gas grill briquettes and other gourmet grilling products.
North Carolina is beautiful in any season, but when fall is in the air and frost shimmers on the trees, it's time to kick back for some slow and easy grilling.
Okay, today we're going to start off real slow because a lot of things we're going to be making today can work by themselves, can cook without you having to stand over them, because we're cooking out in the snow, the cold weather, the beautiful mountains behind us. And to start off with, we put on about an hour and a half ago some lemon pepper smoked hickory chickens. And these chickens are really just looking great, and they're just about ready to come off. So what I'll do is I'm going to show you how we started these chickens before the show began today, and I'll just turn these rotisserie off, cut down the temperature on the grill a little bit, and just let them begin to rest up so we can serve them for you later on. Now, for our chickens, what we began to do was we dry rubbed them about 1 day before the show, and a mixture of lemon pepper, sweet paprika, and a mixture of dry herbs such as rosemary, thyme, and parsley. Then we took and we mixed that into double the amount of a potato flour, solely so the potato flour would adhere on the chicken. And that's basically what makes the difference between the spices and herbs sticking on there. You see, I could shake this bird around, and those spices are going to stay on. They're not all going to fall off. You would take and just dip your chicken in a little water to get it nice and warm. Wet, I mean, not warm. I'm saying warm because it is a little cool out here. But basically you do this indoors, put this on your rotisserie spit, and then you would wind up again about an hour and a half later with some great looking birds just like this. For about the last half hour, I want to move this smoker box. We put on an iron smoker box with some hickory chips that were pre-soaked in some water to give these birds a great wood flavor. But nice and slow. If it's cold, you can light the grill up and then go back in the house. You don't have to stand over it because you're going to cook a lot of things that we're doing today on lower temperatures. And you're going to do that for a variety of reasons because, first of all, the types of meats and foods that we're going to be using today don't require high searing, just long, slow cooking. So let's bring up our very first recipe here. I'll try and bring up our pots. And what we're going to mix is a mushroom pie. And our mushroom pie is not going to be something that you have to slave over a pastry dough for. Just take some French bread. You can even use day-old French bread if you like. And just line out a few slices of French bread. I think we have enough here. Let's see what we got. Pour in some melted margarine or melted butter in a pre-warmed oven-proof or heat-proof casserole. Okay, that's just going to help keep it from sticking, and it's going to give the bread a little bit of flavor. And then to this, we'll mix, let's just get one more slice. That's why I didn't put the bread away. Okay, we press that down. And then we have a natural crust there without having to make a pastry. And then let's mix all our ingredients for the mushroom pie. Now what we used here is a combination of grilled portobello mushrooms, and we used some grilled button mushrooms. We grilled these all, let them cool down, and then chopped them up. And we also used some cremini mushrooms, some shiitakes. Any mixture of mushrooms will do. Then we'll add in 1 boiled potato that's been pre-boiled. And what we did was just let it cool down and mix it right in. Then we'll add a combination of peppers. We'll add in a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red, just so we have a few different colors in there. And this is basically most of the ingredients for the filling of the pie. We'll add in a few cloves of caramelized garlic. And I want to add in a couple tablespoons of grilled onion. And just mix all these ingredients up real well. We can season it with a little bit of parsley, a little bit of dried parsley. You can use a little bit of hot sauce, some fresh ground black pepper. Put that right in there. And the mushrooms give it a real earthy taste. And I'll take a little bit of nutmeg, just a little pinch of nutmeg on there. And basically we'll just return this back into the casserole pan, spread that out. It's almost like a hash, almost the same idea as a hash. You could even call this a vegetarian hash if you like to, especially using those portobello mushrooms. They actually wind up giving it almost a real meaty taste. So doesn't that look real good? It's nice and colorful. And all we have to do is just take it over to the grill. We'll drizzle it with a little bit more melted butter on top. And then we're going to turn the temperature up a little bit on our grill. Since it is cool, you'll notice the grill will be going down a little bit more today. Now, taking it slow, there's probably no recipe that I can think of than kind of like a spin-off tradition of a osso buco. And in doing an osso buco or using an osso buco, use great veal shanks. And with the veal shanks, you get not only the wonderful flavor that comes along, it's almost like a stew-type meat, so it does take a long time. You also get the marrow that's inside the bones here that gives the flavor of the stew a great consistency and a great taste. So let me get these right on the grill because they will take about an hour and a half. I pre-started a couple shanks before the show just so you could see how they would look and be able to tell how they're done when they do come off. Now, a typical osso buco would be almost like in a wine and a veal sauce with it. But why not do a little bit of a spin? You think of grilling, you think of wonderful barbecue sauces. Well, this is something that we're going to do, is a little bit of a spin-off like on barbecue sauces. And we'll put our 4 shanks on here right now. And then I'm going to get a sauce working for it real quick. And basically we're just going to start off with, I'll bring the pan up here just so you can see it, about a half a cup of tomatoes. And you'll notice I have my grill really preheated. Again, know your fire, know that it's cold outside, that you have to work a little bit ahead, anticipate a little bit what's happening with the weather. Otherwise, if you throw the ingredients in now while it's cold, it's just all going to steam and you're not going to get some of the flavor in there. So for a barbecue style type sauce, we put in, again, the chopped tomatoes, the grilled onions, caramelized garlic. We'll put about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And to that, I want to add in a couple tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. I almost called it masala vinegar. No, I don't even know if there's such a thing. And a 1/4 cup of cider vinegar. And then I'm going to add in here 1 good cup of tomato puree. And just let that all cook back here. And let it reduce up. I've mentioned before, when you make different types of barbecue sauces and everything and using vinegars, you can almost get that feeling and taste right inside your cheeks when that begins to reduce down and cook. That's how you know you're getting a good bite on a barbecue sauce. All right, what I want to do now is I really want to get these veal shanks seared off real well. And that grill was not as hot as I would have liked it. So I'm immediately going to move them over to a new part of the grill that they were not on, just so they will sear a little bit. Okay, let's go back and I think we can at least remove our chickens off the spit. So we want to make room for the next recipe that we're going to do. Let's see what we have here that we can put these chickens in. Here we go. Okay, we're just going to cover these chickens up for now, and then I'll show you how we finish them off and trim them down after the show. Now, I always said that many times you have to let the roasts relax and cool down a little bit after they're done coming off the fire, because otherwise if you cut them up now, all the juices are going to run out all over your plate. So we just bring out these Alaskan crabs, and we're going to begin to talk about some wonderful ways of preparing crab. You know, I come from an area on the East Coast where we have great abundance of a blue claw crab. And blue claw crabs, I'll say that a few times fast. Blue claw crab? You want to try that, Norm? Blue claw crab? He doesn't even want to be bothered with it. Okay. Dungeness crab, can you say that, Norm? He can say that, okay. Now, Dungeness crabs are wonderful Northwest-style type crabs. They come from, again, the Alaska region, so they're from exceptional cold waters. And the funny thing about seafood is a lot of people think there's a lot of misconceptions as far as fresh seafood. We have talked about this before with shrimp, and that is with seafood being fresh is the only way. You know, sometimes fresh, if it's been laying around someone's truck for a couple days, it isn't necessarily that fresh. Well, these crabs are immediately cooked and immediately frozen, so the Dungeness crabs are a very, very sweet alternative. Typically, when you are from various parts of the country that are known for crabs, be it either blue claw crabs or stone crabs down in the Gulf area, everyone seems to feel that their crabs are the best. Well, each one kind of has its own style and its own taste. All we want to do now with these shanks is just turn them over. And especially the blue claw crab are very sweet, etc. But with the Dungeness crabs, they are about 2.5 pounds each, and that's good to feed about 2 people with it. So what's good about Dungeness crabs, hey, you have a lot more to do with it. Now, since they are already prepared, very simple, or they're already cooked, very easy way to prepare them, is we're just going to take these crabs and we're going to smoke them. We're going to hot smoke them. So we'll just take it back to the grill over here, and we'll just put on our Dungeness crabs right on the back of the grill, and then all we're going to do later is just cook a quick butter sauce for it later on. Okay, let's go back over to the grill. I think we're ready to take off our veal shanks. Let's see how our sauce is first. Okay, whoa, boy, look at that. Okay, smell right down in that pot. See how it's all beginning to taste? Getting a little bit of a bite on it. We'll just let that cook for another minute, and let me put these veal shanks in some of the sauce we started before, and then we'll just add a little bit more sauce into that. Now the ossobuco, or the veal shanks in the barbecue sauce, is an excellent alternative to different types of stews. In this kind of weather, you know, it's kind of nippy, so you might want to try this as an alternative to different types of stews. And it's very easily, you just let it begin to braise after they've been seared off on the grill. And you don't really even have to watch it. All you have to do is just make sure it's not boiling over. Okay, just make sure it's not boiling over. And then let it cook very, 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 very slow. That's all you have to do with this. Okay, we'll just cover it up, and we'll put it on a burner. Again, it would take about an hour and a half. This is the exception, and later I'm going to show you what I mean by it, where we will be sticking the fork into the meat to show you how to check if it is tender or not. Now, again, in the cold weather, generally there's a great abundance of pears. And we've done pears a couple different ways. We've served them with blue cheese, gorgonzola. We've done them with a crumb and a cookie mixture. Well, these pears here are Basque pears. All we did was we split them in half, and we cored them out. We brushed them down with a little bit of lemon water. And all we have to do is just turn them over. We'll drizzle a little bit of melted butter right on top of them, and then put them over on a hot grill. And then we're going to make a really nice candy sauce for it, which which I'll preheat our pan for it right now. And then just put the pears skin side up. And what's nice about the botched pears is just not only just the color of them, but it really is a nice fruit texture on it. Now what I'm going to do is just take some of the lemon water and such, pour it right in here into the pan that we're going to make the sauce for this dessert. And let's just take a couple tablespoons of butter, put that in there also. And to that we want to add in a full jar of a raspberry jam or preserves. And depending upon the time of the year and what the availability is, pretty much raspberries and berries are available year-round. They'll come in from different parts of the country, from New Zealand or even South America. But you want to use what's sensible. No sense going out and spending $5 on berries that are not in season. But to get sometimes a little bit of flavor contrast for it, we took some frozen raspberries, which of course are always available year-round. They don't go out of season in your freezer. So you can use that. And it'll take a half a cup of orange juice and just put that in there. And we'll let all these ingredients begin to simmer and cook up. I want to take a pinch of cinnamon. Okay, let's go back and see how our crabs are doing. We might have to turn them over. Okay. All we're basically doing is just slowly steaming them, just to warm them up. The meat is already cooked in there. And while we're warming them up, we're also smoking them. So this is not a recipe that you need a lot of ingredients for. You're not going to have to spend all day shopping to make this. Okay, let's make the juice that's going to come off the... That's all okay. Let's go back to our side burner over here. And we're going to make an accompaniment sauce for the crabs. We'll start off with 1 cup of olive oil. And just so you can see it a little bit better, I'm going to open up the cover to let you cheat and see it. Otherwise, I'd just be telling it, and I want you to believe me that I'm doing it. Okay, take 1 good head of caramelized garlic and let that just begin to simmer in there. Just take all those cloves out. And just let the garlic bloom in that oil and pick up some of the flavors from the oil. Then we want to take some of the butter. See, it's cold out here. Even that butter got cold real quick. Just take a couple tablespoons of the butter, put that in there. Okay, and let that begin to all melt. And I just want to get back over here and check our mushroom pie, see how that's doing. Okay. See that? It's going to come out. Again, it's just a lot like a hash. See how our pears are doing? Oh, look at those pears. Aren't they great? I'm going to turn them over now and let them just simmer in the sauce a little bit. And before I put them in there, I just want to stir up the raspberries and melt in the jelly or the jam. Okay, just mix that all up. Now let's get our pears put in there. So all of the ingredients, all of the recipes that we're doing in today's menu is to be done slow, nice and easy. You know, it's cold. Maybe you just got done shoveling your driveway. You know? The only thing is, sometimes you have to wake up a little bit earlier to do some of these great foods. We'll just take a little bit of hot sauce and put some of that in the oil with the caramelized garlic. And I just want to check our fire because it is a little cool and you have to be able to adjust and tell with the heats. Okay, let's start to plate up a couple things because we'll have a lot of stuff coming up all at once. And what we're going to do is we're going to take off our chickens and our hickory. Oh, wow. When you pop open that chicken, when you first take it off the stick, the aroma that's going to come out of there is just going to be outstanding. And we'll pull one bird off here. There we go. Now, to do the chicken, it was trussed on the skewers, just so it wouldn't fall off. And instead of using a knife, sometimes it makes it really easy, is use a pair of shears on there. And just pull off the string. Let's see if we can get out the spikes that were in there from the skewer. I'm holding that on there. You want to be kind of careful with the strings, though, or the twine, and make sure that that isn't going to be left in any of the chicken. No sense serving dental floss with your food. You can always serve that on the side. So for the chicken, you could just take and trim it right down. And a good way of telling if the bird is done usually is in the leg. You'll start to see the meat shrinking over here. And you just take your shears and you can just cut right through it. And you don't have to get out the carving board and do anything like that. Just make it nice and easy. Nice and easy, nice and slow. He's enjoying it right now. Okay, so that's the hickory smoked lemon pepper chicken. That wood flavor, that roasted flavor, man, that stuff, God, is it good right now. Okay, let's see our pears. They're steaming away there, nice and slow. The mushrooms are working nice and slow. I'm going to bring up our veal shanks here. Let's see how our... Oh, isn't that great? Just get the aroma there with the olive oil, a little bit of butter. Crabs are doing real good. I think we can move that iron smoker box. We can move that to the back. We'll keep our dressing over here for the crabs just on the side. And then the last thing we have to do is just do a quick and easy vegetable. Want to do with our ingredients today. We'll also start off with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And I don't really need to do this one too slow, only because it's a very simple recipe to do at the last minute, and it fancies up a vegetable a little bit. You know, when I was a kid, I always used to fight with my sister. Every time my mother would turn her back, naturally, we would throw the vegetable on each other's plate as if we hadn't finished it. Well, I guess my mother was a little smarter than we were, because she came up with a little bit of a different way of doing it, and it made it very, very, very easy to begin to swallow it as a kid. So we just blanched some string beans, some regular green string beans, into a couple tablespoons of olive oil and garlic. We'll sprinkle in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of breadcrumb, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. See, maybe that's why I like Parmesan cheese so much. That's where it all began, making those string beans going down nice and easy. And we let that heat up on there. So let's begin to make a little bit more room here with what we have. Look at these fabulous pears. Oh, man, look at them. Okay, nice and easy, nice and slow. And we can take off our mushroom pie. Our mushroom pie. Nice and easy. You didn't have to knead any pastry dough for this one. Okay, see that? Okay, I don't know if I can tilt that up so you can see that. It makes a nice crust right there. And you let this set. Let this set and relax. Let it set and relax. Let's bring up our veal shanks. Our wonderful barbecued veal shanks. Oh, man. And we'll see if we can pull up one of the ones that we did from before. Okay. Tell you that it's done. Look at that. Just let the fork go in there, and if it slides right out, man, those veal shanks, they're going to be delicious. They make the seasoning and the flavor just amongst themselves. Now let's take the crabs off. Nice and easy crabs. Okay, if we can get some lemon here. Nice and easy. Just get a lemon. Throw it. And just take and pour a little bit of this right over your crabs. Those fabulous Dungeness crabs, Alaskan Dungeness crabs. And then, of course, save some of this for the side. They can use it to dunk and dip to eat your crabs. Now we'll bring up some of our vegetables that my mom made us eat so it will go down a little bit easier. Some wonderful string beans, and there you go. A nice and easy menu. So here we have our green beans with that nice breadcrumb and cheese mixture on it. Makes it really easy to go down. And of course our lemon pepper chicken. Hickory smoked slow on the spit. And of course our Alaskan Dungeness crabs. Nice and easy, just with a little bit of olive oil and caramelized garlic. And our mushroom pie. Easy does it because there's no crust to it. And our barbecued veal shanks. And the Bosc pears with the raspberry sauce. I'm George Hirsch. Remember, if you know your fire, it's nice and easy. See you soon.